When mankind began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were beautiful, and they took as wives any they chose. This is Genesis chapter 6, and it only gets stranger. The text speaks of mysterious beings called the Nephilim, giants, mighty men of old, men of renown, who walked the earth in those days. And then, nothing. No explanation, no context, no backstory. 4 verses. That's all we get. 4 cryptic verses dropped into the biblical narrative like a deleted scene from a film we were never shown. Who are these sons of God? Why are they taking human wives? And what on earth are the Nephilim? For centuries, scholars and theologians have wrestled with this passage. But what if the answers were never lost? What if they were simply edited out? There is an ancient text, older than parts of the Bible itself, that tells this story in full, and its name is the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch, sometimes called First Enoch, is an ancient Jewish religious text attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, a man the Bible says walked with God and was no more, for God took him. It is a sprawling, visionary work filled with angelic revelations, cosmic journeys, and apocalyptic prophecy. Now, most modern Bibles do not include it. It was gradually excluded from the Western canon over the centuries. But make no mistake, this was not some obscure fringe document. Among Second Temple Jews, the Book of Enoch was enormously influential. We know this because when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered at Qumran in the 1940s, more fragments of Enoch were found than of many canonical books. The community that preserved those scrolls considered Enoch essential reading, and as we'll see, so did the authors of the New Testament. So what does the Book of Enoch actually say? It tells us that those sons of God in Genesis 6 were not simply divine beings acting on impulse. They were a specific class of angels known as the Watchers, the Grigori, heavenly sentinels assigned to observe humanity from above. And their fall was not an accident. It was a conspiracy. According to Enoch, 200 of these Watchers gathered on the summit of Mount Hermon and swore a mutual oath. Their leaders bore names: Semyaza, the ringleader, and Azazel, perhaps the most dangerous among them. Together, they agreed to descend to earth and take human wives, fully aware that what they were doing violated the boundaries between heaven and earth. But the corruption did not end with forbidden unions. The Watchers taught humanity secrets that were never meant to be revealed. Azazel taught men the forging of weapons and women the art of cosmetics and seduction. Others taught sorcery, astrology, the cutting of roots, and the reading of the stars. Knowledge that, in the wrong hands, unraveled the natural order of creation itself. The union of angel and human produced something the world had never seen. Hybrid offspring of immense size and terrifying power. These were the Nephilim, part celestial, part terrestrial, towering figures who straddled the boundary between the divine and the mortal. If this sounds familiar, it should. The parallels to Greek mythology are striking. Hercules, born of Zeus and a mortal woman. Achilles, son of the goddess Thetis. The ancient world was filled with stories of demi-gods. Enoch may be telling us where those stories began. But unlike the heroes of Greek myth, the Nephilim brought only ruin. According to Enoch, they consumed everything humanity could produce. When the crops ran out, they turned on the people themselves, devouring human flesh, drinking blood, and eventually turning on one another. The earth cried out under their violence, and this is the key connection back to Genesis. Chapter 6, verse 5 tells us that the wickedness of mankind was great on the earth. Enoch tells us why. It wasn't simply human sin, it was a world overrun by the monstrous children of fallen angels, and so the flood takes on an entirely different meaning. This was not merely divine punishment for human wickedness. This was a cosmic reboot, a drastic measure to purge the earth of corrupted bloodlines and angelic interference. The Nephilim had to be destroyed. The natural order had to be restored. But here is where the story takes its darkest turn. According to Enoch, when the bodies of the Nephilim perished in the floodwaters, their spirits did not perish with them. These disembodied spirits, half angelic, half human, belonging fully to neither heaven nor earth, were condemned to wander the world as evil spirits. Demons. This is one of the oldest and most influential explanations for the origin of demons in Jewish and early Christian thought. The evil spirits that later torment people in the Gospels. According to this tradition, they are the restless ghosts of the Nephilim, echoes of a catastrophe that preceded the flood itself. So what do we make of all this? At the very least, understanding the Book of Enoch transforms Genesis 6 from a bewildering 4-verse fragment into a cosmic epic, a story of angelic rebellion, forbidden knowledge, monstrous offspring, and divine judgment on a scale that dwarfs the flood narrative as most people understand it. And this is not mere speculation. The New Testament itself validates the connection. The Epistle of Jude, verses 14 and 15, directly quotes the Book of Enoch by name, proving beyond doubt that at least some biblical authors not only read Enoch, but considered it authoritative enough to cite as prophecy. Whether you approach these texts as sacred history, ancient mythology, or extraordinary literature, the parallel between Genesis and Enoch reveals something profound. The Bible was never written in isolation. It emerged from a rich, interconnected world of ancient storytelling, and some of the most extraordinary chapters were left on the cutting room floor. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this Bible breakdown, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing.